Ah, just your average Taco Tuesday. Wait, what's this? Fine structure constant. Alpha. I found a cool picture within a keynote thing. Wow. If only we could find some correspondence with something we might have a clue about. We conjecture ahead.
Although this is going to be weird, and it's going to be about a different.
Title of the conference was something like Ground Truth or Turtles All the Way Down. And so it seems as though there's one Ruliad. I don't think it rules them all. And it might be just hyper-rulial turtles all the way down.
Yes, it's on the back of an infinite number of hyper-rulial turtles.
Various people are commenting on the outrage of hacking the universe on a MacBook Air.
Hey guys, what's going on? Memes here. So I was going to go into something completely different because one of the reasons I was going through the geometric derivations of the electron, the proton, the neutron was so that I could solve other stuff and things from equations I got in a book and maybe a PDF file. But all I know is basically we had this, one of them was basically the mass of the electron over what I believe to be the mass of the proton squared. And it wasn't coming out to anything that made any sense to me. And I realized my notation was off because the mass of the proton is m plus because it's positive. At least that's how we characterize it. Ben, you tried, but all I'm saying, it was actually the Planck mass because MP is, and that came out to a number, and I'm like, oh, it's saying it's the gravitational coupling constant. I'm like, keep on getting big G. I get the Newtonian G. I keep on getting this, and then I went down the rabbit hole. There was kappa this. I was using reverse edge. I was just too embarrassed because I couldn't figure out the notation and stuff like that. But it was essentially this. So we had calculated the other day the mass of the electron, which is this crazy thing right here, 9.109 times 10 to the negative 31. And the Planck mass, I still need to do it on one of these videos. So you can at least take like the first 5 digits or so. 2.17 times 10 to the negative 8. You square that, you get this crazy huge number here. What the heck is this number? It took me a while to figure it out, but essentially, the best I get, again, links in the doobly-doo for anyone that wants to explore. This is on the physics stack exchange. So basically, this is the number that we get out, 1.7518. Then we got a couple unknown error bars there, 1.7518. Okay, and then as many digits as you want. Okay. Because the notation, basically it's alpha sub G. I need to learn how to put the subscripts in. I just haven't spent the time. Okay, basically this whole thing, article was, or discussion is, why can we detect single photons but not single gravitons? So we go through all this and I haven't read all this, but essentially, now this is again this is on physics stack exchange. Take it for what it's worth. Now detecting single gravitons is very unlikely because gravitons interact with matter very weakly. So alpha sub G is big G. I probably should just put this in. Times the mass of the electron squared times h bar times the speed of light equals the mass of the electron times the mass of the proton squared. Equals approximately that times 10 to the negative 45. What do we have here? 1.7158, but as many digits as you want times 10 to the negative 45. My friends, it's like a geometric derivation of what we colloquially may refer to as graviton, or at least the actual force of gravity between two electrons. Apparently, maybe I think we ignore it sometimes. It's a quantum scale, super gravity or something comes in there, yada yada. Again, I am a dude on the internet. Take it for what it's worth. But hey, Snacks, thank you for popping by, my friend. Oh yes, Kali, we are live here. Although I am going to be very brief. if you want to come on tomorrow, I'm going to try to get Jen as well, and we're going to try to talk about our thoughts about what's going on, because I want as much different angles. I want a breadth of different versions, and I'm starting to think a lot of things. I think we're all talking about a lot of the same things here. We all have puzzle pieces. I may or may not be taking a trip, and I want to have as much input and perspective as I can. But we go back to, pardon, we go back to our thing here, and basically that whole picture. I actually ended up signing up here. Nobody would ever dox themselves on the internet. Academia.edu. It seemed like kind of one of the more trustworthy things there. I gave them an email address. They let me download this article. They tried to upsell me. So yes, okay. Yes, of course, like we said, the gravitational coupling constant characterizes the gravitational attraction between elementary particles. It's 42 orders of magnitude smaller than the fine structure, or alpha. Huh. Very interesting. Yeah, basically what we were doing here is we had the mass of the electron, we had the Planck mass, we square that, and then we get that out times 10 to the negative 45. What's the other interesting thing here? Okay. And again, here are some other sites. Take them for what they're worth. But essentially, this is A of G is typically defined, citation needed, in terms of the gravitational attraction between two electrons. More precisely, the same thing we were saying right there. Again, we get about 5 significant digits. G is the gravitational constant, mass is the electron rest mass. C is the speed of the light in a vacuum. H is the reduced Planck constant. And MP is the mass plate. See, had I actually just put this in before, it would have been a lot easier. But the other time that number popped up was when we went to a page we had visited before. Natural units. Hey, welcome. Hey, I'm going to say 42 explains a lot, but 44 explains more, I claim. So, okay, natural units, we got all this stuff here. And again, the notation is, it's kind of crazy. See, because we had alpha sub G. Now, is that the nu of the electron? I typed in nu. I searched for that symbol as well in reverse interest. There's like nothing that comes up. Even when you do Einstein dimensionless gravity, there's like 67 articles. And then even when I did or gravitational coupling, and then I don't know, there was only less than 1,300 things that were coming up. And I'm like, it's got to be billions or trillions of web pages. I just found that interesting. So again, that was the other thing that we saw here. But let's get back to the first thing that we actually had here. This fantastical photo that we have on. Let me stop that. Boom. And as soon as, because this was in the paper that it wouldn't let me quickly search, so I didn't want to scroll through the entire keynote presentation to find where this came up here. But all I know is keynote apparently. God. This big book of science, a new kind of science for Professor Wolfram. Look at the binding. This was set up in Keynote. So I'm like, all right. It's pulling me over there. If it's good enough for Professor Wolfram, I might as well show at least something that I found in one of the academia.edu presentations. Don't mind me. I use this as my thumbnail. I'm lazy. The fine structure constant alpha. Okay. All this crazy numbers and look at it. It's like, oh, actually, is it just me? Does that kind of look like a cardioid? Golly, I'm looking at you. But, and then we get this energy imbalance and everything. And look at this. I'm like, oh my God. It's the Adobe Acorbic reader thingy there. That was the view I had as like the tri-infinity back in the day when I was learning geometry and stuff. I'm like, all right, circles and infinity. You got the sideways 8 is infinity. Add a third one there. Apparently, it has some other articulations. And shout out to Fractal Woman. A lot of this seems to be based on cycles, some may say. What is that cycle? I don't know. Maybe 1 Planck second? Again, I'm looking at you, Kali. Again, I think a lot of us were talking about the same things. We can use the same language. God bless Professor Wolfram. I think we can figure this stuff out. But, okay. Oh, look, toroidal rotation. I covered the actual other thing where it said torsion over the surface there. Then we got our little gravitational thing. Yeah, and then like kind of a base measurement of fine structure, 1 over that. World precession. I love that terminology, but this photo popped up before I edited it. And I'm just looking at this, and I'm like, oh, looks like they're doing electromagnetism there. Looks like there's a lot of different stuff and thing. For me, I don't know. I don't know. Is this what they were telling us in high school? The electron, it's a particle. But it's all over the place at the same time. Like, how would you do that? Probably something like this. Zippity-doo-dah, the whole dang Planck second. Now, again, if only there was some geometrical object that we might actually know about that may have a related physical constant that we could even find on Wikipedia and related links and articles for, that could help describe this. I don't know. Again, I hear 2023 is the year to see. Oh, that's from academia.edu. The link's in the doobly-doo if you want to check it. It's a fantastic presentation. I think it goes through the history and everything. There's so much stuff I need to go through, but hey, that's all I got for right now, guys. Be sad, everybody. Be safe, and hey, to paraphrase what Mr. Campbell said the other day, if you want to change the world, start with changing yourself. Be sad, everybody. Where's the thing?
Have you guys checked out the Memes of Destruction's channel? He's an interesting dude. I like him.